Welcome to the viewing room.
Step behind the veil with us. So this episode is the Prep Room Diaries. So I'm going to talk about some unpleasant things I've had to deal with as a funeral director. But I
Someone
did get to
who
embalm. I was close.
I was gonna say plays with the dead, but someone who works with the dead.
Yeah. Did not play with them.
That's not the word I wanted, but
I'm gonna give a trigger warning for this episode because I kind of go into the explanation of decomp, and if you're not comfortable with that, then I would suggest maybe not listening to this episode.
yeah, if you're worried it's gonna give you the ick.
But if you have a vivid imagination, maybe don't watch this one.
Yeah.
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning. Don't.
So, as I already said, this entry to the Prep Room Diaries is about some of the unpleasant things we see and smell. As pretty much everyone knows, once you die, your body begins decomposing pretty much right away. And then there's different stages of decomp, so I'm going to explain those a little bit.
Sorry, the cat was looking at me.
Oh,
Anyways,
he's just my child.
he's like,
What did he do?
bet me mother.
Yeah, really a lot of fur everywhere. I don't want to deal with that. So within the first few hours after you pass away, your body goes into a process called autolysis. So this is basically the enzymes in your body kind of digesting your cells. So your body starts breaking down from the inside out. So the term derives from the Greek words auto, meaning self, and lysis meaning splitting.
That can that. Yeah,
kind of
self-splitting. Or
your cells are splitting and
just breaking down.
Yeah. This stage is when the body becomes discolored in certain areas from like blood pooling. So like if you passed away on your back and you laid there, the blood pools to your back or face, whatever. And then rigor mortis sets in. Rigor mortis sets in right away and it lasts for a few hours. It can go away and then it can come back.
Why would it go away?
Your muscles relax and then they tense back up again.
But why?
Stages of decomp. Ghost. And then within the 24 to 48 hour window, the body enters the bloat stage. So this is caused from all the bacteria from the first stage where your cells are breaking down. And it creates a gas. So this usually leads to like a lot of swelling in your abdomen just because it's starting to fill up with this gas. And it's usually accompanied by some foul odors because sometimes those gases leak out of orifices.
Yeah, it's afterworld toots.
Yeah, they don't smell good at all.
Oh, really not.
We have to break rigor when we're getting ready to embalm someone. And when you lift their leg, sometimes they fart. And it smells so bad. Yeah. Purge will also start during this stage. Sometimes bodies don't purge, but a lot do. So this is basically when the contents of your stomach comes out. Especially if you've eaten before you died, your body will just push everything out. So it can come out of your nose, your mouth, your eyes, your ears, and obviously your butthole.
The anus.
Yes, your butt.
That's what the
the AV plug. I've only ever had to use, I think, 2 of those. Usually we just diaper them. Call it a day.
Like,
they're really hard to put in.
Probably.
I needed help doing that. So an AV, it's either called an AV plug or an AV closure, but it's a plastic device that it's twisted on one end and you basically twist it into their butt to stop them from leaking if they're really leaky. I've only ever had to use 2 and I needed help getting it in.
Torture butt plug.
Yeah. essentially. Everyone does, well, not everyone. Some people do blood stuff when they die. Didn't when you
So
live.
if you like really are against it when you're alive, just know that sometimes
if you're leaky, you might.
it's inevitable.
Yeah, it might happen.
We don't kink shame here.
No, everyone's welcome to do whatever they want.
We don't yuck people's yums, but we do judge.
Just a little bit. Most funeral homes will get the body within those 2 stages of decomp, or they'd like to anyways. Sometimes it doesn't always happen that way, depending on certain circumstances. And yeah. On days 5 to 15, the body enters the active decay stage. So this is where soft tissue begins to break down and the rest of all the fluids that are still present are released.
Okay, I have a question for you. What was your least fresh body? Like, more thoroughly decomposed?
Well, we had one, he had passed away outside in the winter.
Oh.
So he wasn't found right away, and when we got him, he was frozen.
Yeah.
So he had to thaw out before we could do anything.
That probably wouldn't be pleasant.
No, his skin was really clammy.
Mm.
And then that kind of plays into skin slip, which I'm going to mention later on.
It's
Just with
true.
all the fluid and moisture.
Yeah.
He had an open casket too.
Oh my god.
Yep.
No.
Yeah. But he looked not bad, considering.
You're gonna have to tell me how you guys fixed or...
Mostly makeup.
Yeah.
Because he had a heart attack, so when you have a heart attack, your face kind of goes purple because all
Yeah.
the blood rushes.
So no too bad of adjustments needed though. Okay.
Thankfully, he didn't have an open casket. I think it was just for his viewing so that his family could see him.
Yeah.
And then the service, it was closed.
Okay.
So it wasn't open for very long.
Because, yeah, if... I don't know how to word this. Because, like, if they have skin slippage, would they, like... Would there be any faster decomposing?
Depending on where it is and if we fix it, because you can fix it.
Okay. Yeah, no, I know. Okay.
Yeah. So after day 15, the body then enters the advanced decay stage. So this is when the body is just basically continuing to break down further. Most soft tissue is gone at this point. There might be like a little bit left. And bone starts to become visible. Insects increase in this stage. So like insects can be on them pretty much from any stage, but they start increasing in this stage just because they're eating away at the tissue.
So their activity increases.
Yeah. So once like if the body isn't in the care of a funeral home within those 2 stages, like insects can still be present, but they'll be more present if they're still out in like the environment in the open.
Okay, yeah.
Maggots and flies.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Party rice. I heard an embalmer call them that once, and I was like, oh, that's never gonna leave my head now.
Never gonna look at rice the same, but
No.
still love rice.
And then the last stage of decomp is skeletonization. So that's when no soft tissue is left. If there is any, it's like dried out, and the body's basically just a skeleton at this point.
So does cartilage count as soft tissue?
Yeah. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong.
Because I'm just wondering about how cartilage decays.
I think it breaks down with the rest of the tissue.
I believe it does, yeah. Because I'm off topic, but now I'm thinking about sharks. But
I'm pretty sure it does, because I think it takes longer than like your skin.
Yeah, that's what I'm...
But it does break down with everything else. Especially with like...
Well, you look at skulls and things, and all the cartilage, the nose and everything breaks down pretty fast, so... Yeah, okay.
So decomp can be slowed down or sped up, depending on where the person passed away, how they passed away, the environment surrounding where they passed. So some examples would be, say, if someone passed away in a hot tub, they're gonna decomp and break down
because
faster.
it's spicy.
Because the hot water's gonna
it
accelerates everything.
the death of the cells, and it kind of, because heat makes, that's why things that decay in the sun smell a lot more putrid than things that don't decay when they're being cooked.
Yeah. So yeah, because like if you died in like a cold body of water, you'd be more preserved because your body's it slows down the process.
It's like Lake Superior.
Yeah.
But all the bodies at the bottom that don't decay because of the cold temperature.
And I think salt water and fresh water also play a role in that too. I think salt water preserves them a little bit longer than fresh water.
Maybe.
I think.
Perhaps.
I'm pretty sure. Because it's like...
Kind of. There's a cat back there. Just ignore me.
Oh. So I've only mostly worked on bodies in the first and second stage of decomp. So the autolysis stage and then the... What was the other one?
Why are you looking at me?
The autolysis stage and the bloat stage.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I usually seem to always get them either right after they passed away or right when they're entering that bloat stage. I remember having one person, it was a man, when he came in, his stomach was literally out here. And then when I was done embalming him, because we have to aspirate, so I'll explain that later. But I had to aspirate him, and by the time I was done that, his stomach was like completely flat. Like all that gas came out when I was aspirating. It smelled really bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say that probably smells.
Yeah, it did not smell good, but it's just kind of cool to see. Like, free liposuction.
Free liposuction.
It's basically the same instrument that they use for liposuction that we use it for aspirating. Yeah.
Multi-purpose, that thing.
I have seen other bodies in like the later stages, but I haven't worked on them, and they're usually cremated. Like there's not much we can do.
Yeah.
Really. Depending. In the very late stages, obviously we can't.
Well, I mean, yeah, with the look and the smell and
no one wants to see that, and we don't want families having that be their last memory.
No, that would not be
would be very traumatizing.
Yeah. No thanks.
So a few of the most memorable things I've seen and dealt with would be obviously the smells, skin slip, like I mentioned. Skin slip's not really, it's more annoying, if anything.
Yeah, probably.
And then purge. To me, like when you die, like death obviously has like a certain smell. And I think it's different for everybody. Like everyone.
I was going to ask you if there's a difference from person to person, maybe.
I think because I've had other embalmers explain how they smell it, and it's not how I smell it. To me, it smells like a damp, like sweet smell.
Oh, okay.
Like it's hard to explain. But once you smell it once, like you know the smell of death. You don't forget it.
Yeah, no.
It's just stuck in your brain. And then purge. The best way I can explain how that smells is rotten vegetables. So like, yeah, you know when people have like compost, and it's like hot out. Yeah, that's what that smells like. It's gross. Not a fan, but you do what you got to do. It's part of the job. It is what it is.
Your eyes are screaming and yelling, "Help me!"
And then skin slip. So skin slip, I've experienced. It seems to happen a lot more on elderly people just because their skin is so thin already.
And looser and stuff.
Yeah. But it can happen to basically anyone, especially if like the skin continues to hold on to fluid after the embalming. It's self-explanatory. It's when the skin slips off. Not completely, just like the top layer. Because it's just more irritating than anything because like trying to get someone dressed, you go to put on their sleeve and their skin comes off with their sleeve. Yeah, not
You know when you get really hot and you're like, I can't take off enough layers?
Yeah. Could I go for some skin slippage? So occasionally after an embalming, the body can still hold on to fluid and it'll create like blisters. It's usually where the body's laying down, so like on the bottoms of their arms, and they create blisters. And then that blister, you obviously have to drain it, and then that creates skin slip. You can fix it. You basically cauterize it. You use a drying chemical such as drying, and you kind of lather, well, not lather, you soak cotton in drying and put it on where the skin slip is, and it kind of dries out the skin around it to prevent it from like getting worse.
Yeah.
And then you would just wrap that area of the body and then dress them.
Oh, okay.
It's just annoying to deal with.
Roughly.
But yeah, that's kind of it for that. But I don't really have much else to add. Although I did want to reference, if you guys have seen the show 56 Days, because you know how I said when someone passes away in like a hot tub or a bathtub?
Yeah.
They get mushy. In that show, 56 Days, it's a really good show if you haven't watched it. I think it's on Netflix. But there is a human soup bathtub scene in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Someone died and they were left in a tub. So that explains if you want to go see that.
Good soup.
If you want to see it, I guess go watch that show.
Don't support cannibalism.
No. It is a good show though. Very good. But yeah. Do you have any questions?
I don't know if I do.
Do you guys have any questions?
I want to know your questions.
We have one more episode of the Prep Room Diaries in this season. So any questions you guys have, I can answer in that one. We do have a lot of questions for this one.
Yeah.
So I'll get you to read the question and then I'll answer it. But yeah, for the most part, purge is gross. Skin slip is annoying. And there's a lot of smells you deal with. I seemed to always get the people that pooped. Always. I don't know why. Oh, yeah. There was one. Okay, so obviously we're like fully kitted out. Like we're in PPE. We have like gloves. I double glove. We have a mask. Even though I have glasses, I still wear like the shield. And then we have boot covers and like a gown and then like an apron. There was one occasion. So like when we get the bodies, specifically from the hospital, they're usually diapered if they're elderly. And we have to take all that off because we have to bathe them before we start our whole process. And I was rolling up this person's diaper once and it was stuck underneath them. So I was trying to kind of pull it a little bit and I got it out and this freaking turd flew out and landed on my boot cover. I was so happy that I had those on because could you imagine if I just got someone's turd on my shoe? But it was like a full turd. It literally flew off the table onto my shoe. I just looked down. I was like, oh.
Huh. Well, that happened.
Yeah. And usually I'm at the one funeral home I worked at, I was usually embalming alone. So I had no one to like laugh at it with. So I was just laughing alone in the room. Yeah. Fun.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of a funny joke of a dead person pooping on your shoe, but I can't.
I literally, like, I always got...
Is a shoe in for a shitty time? I don't know.
I always got the ones that pooped. Like, and like my job before that was a care aide. So not a care aide, but, well, it's close enough. So I was dealing with living people pooping too. Just my calling in life is to deal with poop, I guess.
Dealing with all that shit?
Yeah.
You little poo fiend.
Maybe that's why my eyes are brown.
Because you're so full of shit.
It was meant for this job.
It's your calling.
Mm-hmm. I do plan on, in the next few years, I do plan on going back into the industry because I do miss it. And I do miss, like, you're always learning something new. You're always experiencing something new. And there's the stories I've heard or, like, the stories I have. Like, yeah. They're something.
I don't know. I always enjoy hearing about them because I'm kind of like...
Yeah. I know.
What?
You're just
Did
like,
you repeat that?
What did you say? Like, are you serious?
It'll be like silent and we'll be doing our own thing completely. And then you'll be like, so this one time. And I'll be like,
one time at band camp.
Yeah, pretty much.
My friend used to say
This
that all
one
the
time in the prep room.
yeah.
So there I was. I don't know the words for all the stuff.
Oh,
he
I know
used,
what you're
but-
talking about. Oh, what?
Well, I was gonna say, so there I was, barbecue sauce on my titties, but I don't know the
Poop
name.
on my boot cover.
There I was with poop on my boot cover.
Oh, yeah. So we have 5 questions for this episode. So you can read the question
Okay.
and I'll answer.
Okay, what is the weirdest, most unplanned thing that has happened at a funeral?
So this was from Cruella. It's actually from her roommate, but I can't remember his name right now. Sorry for that. My bad. But this, so it's not really related to a funeral, but like a service, but it still happened at a funeral home, so I'm just gonna use it anyways. I'm not gonna use names, obviously, for obvious reasons. So I'm gonna call him Norman Bates. You'll know why eventually.
Oh God.
I have it written down just because sometimes I go on a tangent and then I get lost on what I was talking about. Anyways, so this happened when I very first started in the industry, so like 4.5 years ago now. I was very, very new. I didn't know like anything at the time. I was still learning. I had just finished school and I was like doing my internship. And this guy, Norman Bates, so his mom had passed away almost 10 years ago, so more than 10 years ago now. And he had come in
Keep talking.
because he asked if keep taking where are you going?
Just like for a second.
He had asked if he could exhume his mom because he wanted to check if she had a certain item of jewelry with her in her casket. And this funeral home I worked at said yes because there was nothing in place at the time for us to be able to say no. So they did. They exhumed her casket. He was very adamant on wanting to be present for it, but we no, because that's a safety hazard. First of all, like you could fall in the hole. We don't know if you're gonna like try and grab your mom. Like I don't know what you're gonna do. So no, he wasn't allowed to be there, but he wanted pictures. So my coworker at the time did take pictures. They took pictures of the grave itself, the casket, the gravestone. Just because he was just very persistent on certain things. So the item he wanted to know was in there. So then they reburied her. We thought that was the end of it. A few months later, he called again asking if they could exhume her again. They said no because like we had just disturbed her grave.
Yeah.
And she had a wooden casket and those don't last forever. Like they're meant to break down. So we couldn't guarantee like if we hold her back up, like if the bottom of the casket was going to fall out or something. Jacob,
we're busy.
So we said no for the second time.
Yeah.
And I think, if I'm remembering correctly, my boss at the time ended up talking to council. So we have like a council that governs like all of the things we're allowed to do and not do. I'm allergic to him. So, sorry.
I know. I suffer.
They ended up getting like basically a bylaw put in place to like not let people do that unless it was for like actual reasons like police investigations or something. Okay. Like police investigations or something. So yeah, that was one of the weirdest things I experienced when I very first started because like I didn't know how to react to that. And I got left alone with him once and he was odd.
Okay, like a ghost might put up with you digging up their grave one time.
Like your mom, she passed away almost like 10 years ago.
Yeah, that alone's fucking weird. But 2 times?
Yeah. The second time was because he wanted to put something in there with her, but yeah, we told him no.
No, you suck it up and you put it on their headstone.
Yeah.
I don't care at that point.
They ended up getting a bylaw of sorts put in place to like prevent that from ever happening again because, we don't know.
Yeah, that's odd.
And he still lived in his mom's house and he slept in his mom's room. So yeah, Norman Bates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he gave me the heebie-jeebies being left alone with him. I was like, because he was talking, but like, and I thought he was talking to me, so I answered him, but he wasn't talking to me. He was just, I don't know who he was talking to. Maybe he was talking to his mom. I don't know.
Maybe his mom wanted that thing.
I don't know. It was in there with her though.
But the second time, didn't
Yeah,
he want to
well,
put something new in?
yeah.
Maybe he thought his mom wanted it.
Mm.
Maybe he was like schizophrenic or something.
There was something, like, I don't think he was mentally well.
Okay.
And every time they would mention his name, he would call. It's like he knew. It was weird.
That's really weird.
But yeah, that's the answer for that one. So not technically related to a funeral service, but related to a funeral home.
Do I do number 3?
2.
Oh, 2, because I was busy
I know
doing
you
something.
making him come over here.
Anyways, what is the weirdest request you've had for a funeral service? From Cruella.
Yeah, I think that's also from her roommate, but
Yeah.
oh, Caleb, that's his name.
Caleb.
There we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. The only thing I can think of would just be people asking if they can put things in the cremation casket. So we've had people ask if they can put weed in there. I would have said yes, but my boss at the time was against that, so she said no. So I had to say no.
Boxing at work.
Right? You're just getting high at the crematorium.
It's like the morning biscuits. Where them biscuits at?
Yeah, just have the munchies after.
You do like that cherry bread.
Yeah, I do. And then I've had people ask if they can put alcohol bottles in there, which obviously no, because glass explodes when it gets hot, and that can destroy the retort, which is really, really expensive to fix.
Yeah, probably.
It's all made of bricks in there, so if that like goes up,
that would suck.
Yeah, no. And then I've also had people ask if they can put like little like Hot Wheels cars and stuff in there too. But again, like it's gonna melt and get stuck in the retort, and again could wreck it. We've had people like write on the cremation box just to say goodbye and stuff.
Yeah.
And leave little messages, which is fine. And then we've had people leave in like photographs, just like stuff that would burn.
Yeah.
But then we have to remind them like you're not gonna get this back.
Yes.
So just make sure you want this in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's not really weird, but that's the most weird thing I can think of so far that I've dealt with. And then number 3.
What is the process of embalming?
So this question is from Sylvie and Joel. I'm not going to go into this in detail because I want to use this in my next entry for the Prep Room Diary. So I'll briefly explain the process of embalming. So when we get the body, we transfer them from the stretcher onto the prep table, and they're usually clothed. If they're from the hospital, they'll be like shrouded in like a cloth, like they're wrapped up in it. Anyways, so we have to remove that stuff. And then we'll bathe them because we have to clean them and sanitize them first before we start all our things. Once we've bathed them, we will make an incision. Sometimes I'll go like right on the collarbone because then I know I'm not going to like break anything underneath. Or depending on where their collarbone sits, because some people have really high collarbones, I'll go just like above it. And then I use what's called an aneurysm hook. So you got to dig around in there because you got to find the artery and the vein. Once you found them, you raise the vessels. That's what it's called. So you scoop them out. Not scoop them out, but yeah. Use the aneurysm hook it. You tie strings on each one, so 2 strings on both. I like to color code mine, so I'll do white on the artery, black on the vein, just so I know. I mean, you can tell which is which, but just so I know, because sometimes it gets messy in there. And then you make your incision on the artery, so you can insert the cannula to start the injection. I like to let pressure build up before I open the vein, just because if they're an elderly person, they sometimes have clots, and it kind of helps push those out. So I'll let the chemical pump for a little bit, and then I'll open the vein. And then we use angular forceps into the vein, and we basically do like this kind of a motion, like we close it as it goes in and then open it as it comes out. So we're pulling out any clots that are in there, and it kind of helps just like with fluid like blood coming out. So we will inject down first until we're like happy with the distribution, the color, the pinkness, the firmness. And then once we're happy with the results for going down, we will pause our machine, switch everything around, and go up. You obviously don't need to go up as long because it's a smaller surface area, so you just go until you're happy with what the distribution looks like, if they're getting color back like in their lips. And then as we're doing all this, we are massaging the body, so they basically get like a long bath.
Yeah.
A really long one, because we use soap to massage the body because it just helps. So when you're massaging the body, that's just helping like the fluid distribute through into the extremities. You can also clean out their fingernails. Jeez, look at all that hair.
You left a wispy.
You can, once you're cleaning out the fingernails, that also like stimulates chemical to kind of go into the fingertips, because you want because the hands are visible if they're having an open casket. So you want their fingernails to be clear and pink. Otherwise it's not the end of the world, but you want that. That's the ideal.
Yeah, you want them to look kind of
sleeping, basically. Once we're done all that, we have our ideal color, we're happy with the results. We will bathe them again just to wash off any blood or clots or anything that are stuck underneath them, around them, blah, blah, blah. I will then close the incision. I'll stitch it up. I only know how to do a baseball stitch, so that's the only one I've practiced with. And then we aspirate. So I mentioned it earlier. It's like the same kind of thing they use for liposuction, and you make a whole belly button. So just off to the side of their belly button, you'll poke the aspiration tube in. It has like a sharp end. Basically, you shove that in there, and instead of sucking out fat, like you will suck out some fat, we're sucking out organs and like fluid. We're basically making a pathway for the cavity fluid to go into after, so that like embalms them inside, because like the arterial injection obviously embalms arterially, and then the cavity fluid embalms them like in their cavities. So we'll make pathways going up first, and then we'll go down, and then when we're going down, we're sucking out like any fluid or poop that's left over in there. When we're done all that, we use a little button called a trocar button, and then it has a device, a trocar button putter inner.
I like that term.
But we twist it into the hole we made from the aspiration tube. Once we're done everything, we'll bathe them again and then dry them off. We'll cream their hands, their face, and then cover them with a sheet. And then depending on when you did the embalming, they'll sometimes sit overnight, or they'll get dressed the end of that day, and then they'll have their makeup done, they'll be dressed, and then casketed either later that day or the next day. But I'm not going into any more details on that because I want to go into like more detail in the next episode. But yeah, any questions?
I am so wired into learning about this right now.
There's a lot. It's a process.
I know how to suck.
Suck what, Katie?
Suck dead people. I know how to vacuum out the inside.
Yeah. When I very first started, the very first time I did that, I still don't, like, it's not obviously something anyone really enjoys doing. Although I do know a few funeral directors or embalmers that's their favorite part. But when I very first did that, I was like freaking out because
can maybe be satisfying. Funeral director.
Ugh.
ASMR.
No, and it's scary because every once in a while you have to pull it out because it can back up.
Ew.
Yeah.
Imagine.
That's not fun. It's had to happen once.
Ew. But
it wasn't appetizing. So fair. Yeah. Back in the day, funeral directors used to eat in the prep room. They don't do that anymore because that's a fucking...
Yeah, every time I see like a movie or something.
Yeah, they're eating or smoking or drinking coffee.
Eating or smoking or drinking in the prep room. And I'm like, Okay, see where you're coming from. You're probably hungry. But there's so many things in the prep room.
All the bacteria, like the
The
cross-contamination.
bacteria, the chemicals, like
no, thank you.
you could like accidentally poke a guy on like a poop particle.
Yeah. All right. Next question.
This one's an interesting one. A lot of people. Yeah. A lot of people
ask some really
A lot of people ask
questions.
some weird questions. Yeah. So this question.
Too bad.
This question is: do you have to touch their privates ever?
This question's from Emma. Yeah, because I have to bathe them, and in order to bathe them, I have to clean their genitals, and especially if they're poopy. So yeah, I gotta wash them down. I usually use a rag. I'm obviously wearing gloves. I've already mentioned this, but yeah,
Some people get so gross about that topic, though.
I know. I've had some. It's usually guys that I've had ask like really inappropriate questions. I'm like, why would that be your first thought? Why would your brain go to that? And why would you think to ask me that?
That's nasty.
Yeah. So there's something wrong with those people that ask those types of questions. I'm not going to go into what they ask because you should be able to tell from the way I'm talking about it.
Like, honestly, like this question,
No,
it's an honest question.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's a fair question.
Mm-hmm. I will say, though, out of my friends, I've probably seen a lot of probably the most old man penis.
Yes.
Minus the people I know that work in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can keep that.
In all shapes and sizes. Yeah. Unfortunately. I cover it, okay? I wash them and then I cover it with a cloth because I don't want to stare at that. No offense to them, but
yeah, that's well, you're giving them some
some
modesty
privacy
and stuff too. So
not that there's
much
in depth.
There's not much modesty in dying.
You kind of lose all your modesty once you die. But I try to have them at least have some left,
which is good. Because there's probably some funeral industry workers out there that don't treat them like they were once human beings.
Probably.
So,
thankfully, I haven't met any. Hopefully, I never do. But there was a documentary. I think it's called The Mortician. I don't remember actually, but it came out last year. It was at a funeral home in the States, and the guy was like mass cremating bodies.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one.
And he still thinks he did nothing wrong.
He told me to watch that one.
Yeah, it's good.
Because people were getting cremations that wasn't.
Yeah, they were getting
there.
Because you're only supposed to do one at a time.
Yeah.
Like that is like Canada has very stricter rules for all this than the States do. But even in the States, I'm pretty sure you're only supposed to do one at a time.
Yeah.
So this guy was doing like at least 30 at a time.
Wasn't he doing other weird stuff too?
Yeah, they were pulling out people's gold teeth.
Yeah.
Stealing like jewelry on bodies. They were selling body parts on the black market.
Yeah.
His mom, who also worked at the funeral home, was like embezzling people's trust fund, like funeral funds.
Messed up.
Yeah, it was a messed up funeral home. They obviously are shut down now. But that guy, like, he did go to jail, but he's out now. He just thinks he did nothing wrong still. Like, he was interviewed in the show and just talks about it like it was another day.
Yeah, I don't get that because those were once people.
Yeah. So like, that's someone's mom or grandma or whatever.
Sister or brother or niece or nephew or whatever. Yeah.
It just sucks that like there are certain funeral service workers out there that paint us out to be bad guys when we're not.
Yeah.
Like, I want to make sure they're treated with respect and like taken care of.
Just think about how you would want someone to treat you.
Yeah. Yeah. So your deceased are safe with me. I'm going to treat them properly, the way they deserve. And then we have one more question. From my sister.
Oh, the trash goblin.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's her name now.
I know.
Okay.
Forever.
How do you prepare someone who has had a traumatic death?
So depending on their injuries or how they passed, we can use restorative art. So in school we get taught how to like fix cuts. I have a model head that I had to practice on for restorative art, but we basically get taught how to like reconstruct faces, fix little cuts. We get taught how to like cover up bruises with like certain color palettes. A lot of it is hard to teach because if you're not doing it in the moment, you don't really know how to learn.
Yeah.
Because
Very
like
hands-on.
yeah, that was my favorite. Like my schooling didn't really go into it very much, which I was kind of sad about because I was really looking forward to that class. So I didn't really get to learn a whole lot about it other than like what I learned in the prep room.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, like, that sounds bad. I don't want people to die traumatically, but I'm hoping when I go back into the industry, I get to kind of practice that a little more.
Yeah, expand your horizons a little bit.
Because, yeah, it's really interesting. And I'm very, like, I love SFX makeup, so I'm very into, like, fixing things and making things look better than they were. Yeah, so it kind of depends on how the circumstances around how they passed away. Sometimes there's nothing we can do, just because their injuries are too extensive or just how they passed away was just too traumatic. So I think at least like if we can, we'll show like their hand or something just so the family has some closure. But unfortunately, at times like we can't even do that, so it's just a closed casket.
Yeah, which is fair.
Yeah. I do know though, I can't remember where I heard this or I read this, but there was one embalmer who she reattached someone's head using like wooden dowels.
Oh, that'd be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, that'd be cool to see.
It would be. It would like, and it's an unfortunate.
Yeah, I was like, how do I word
situation
this sounding morbid, but
it would be cool to like see how she did that.
Cool
like she had to put the wooden dowels like into their neck and then like prop the head onto it, and then as best as she could. Like that's why when you do pass away and we know like you're gonna have an open casket, we ask for high collars just in case. Also, just so we can cover the incision we make, but also to like if that were a situation that was happening, you can cover that mark with like a high collar.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised too how many people forget to bring their loved one underwear.
You know what? To be fair, they're grieving and they're probably not thinking about.
No, I mean they're diapered anyway. I diapered every single one just to be safe. Because
things leak.
You never know.
Leak.
I had one lady. She's super tiny too. I lifted her by myself off the stretcher.
She like 30 pounds?
Like close. She was really small.
I probably would have dropped her. So
yeah, well, good thing you weren't doing it.
Exactly. Good thing that's not my job.
Yes.
Shame.
You do have to have like at least some sort of muscle though.
Yeah.
Because like even with help, sometimes bodies are just really heavy, especially when you're dead. Like
when they go limp.
Yeah.
Everything gets heavier when they go limp.
Yeah.
Kids, animals, dead people. Like
we had one guy, we ended up meeting, so it was me, 3 of my staff members at the funeral home I worked at, and then 3 EMS workers and I think 2 nurses because he was so big.
Yeah.
We had to like transfer him onto a different stretcher and then trying to get him into the van. Like we needed that much help because
for the cremation thing. Is there a weight limit?
The one here, well, we have 2, but the one at the funeral home I worked at, yes, he ended up being too big. He had to go to a different one in a different town. I have lots of stories. Yeah. So
I've got lots of questions. So
keep your questions for the next prep room entry. Okay. If you guys have any questions on things you'd like to know of my stories and things I've experienced, please feel free to ask. I will answer.
If you guys have any questions you want me to ask.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people don't want to ask the weird questions, but I'm not here for it.
We're not going to judge you for asking the weird questions.
Never judge. Because as people, we're all thinking them.
Yeah, we have curious brains and we want to know things.
Yeah, nobody likes to dive into things that make people uncomfortable.
That's what we're here for. Anyways, on that note, rest easy.
if you can.
Good night.